our focus to the other big story of the day. New Delhi has been ranked the world's most polluted capital city once again. This is for the second consecutive year that Delhi has grabbed this top spot. Dhaka, capital of Bangladesh, ranked second, while Chad's capital N'Djamena is third in this entire list, and Dushanbe, capital of Tajikistan, stands fourth. Remember, of the 15 most polluted cities in Central and Southern Asia in 2021, 12 were in India. These startling facts came to light in the 2021 World Air Quality Report. According to the report, no single country has met the latest WHO annual air quality guidelines. In fact, I'm also being joined by two very special guests right now to discuss this issue in detail. Bhavreen Khandari, environmentalist, is with us, and also Ashish Jain, director at Indian Pollution Control Association, is also with us, joining us on this broadcast for a very, very important conversation. Going to Ashish Jain first. So, Ashish, Delhi has received a not so prestigious title of being the most polluted capital city of the entire world for 2 years in a row. And these 2 years, as we all know, were pandemic years. So despite all the vehicular curbs, low level of industrial activities, the pollution menace continued to haunt Delhi. Why is that so?
This is very unfortunate, but I'm not surprised to see this report. Because means the air quality is going to degrade for last so many years. Although the report started coming from last year, so this is the second consecutive year where Delhi ranked first with respect to poor air quality. Despite of lockdown also, but there are a lot of local sources. 70% of Delhi air quality is because of the local sources in Delhi, especially the vehicular movement and the waste management practices. So we have not stopped burning of waste in open areas. We have not able to manage our landfill properly, and we have not able to implement public or motivate people to use public transports. And during the lockdown, a lot of people start coming or traveling through their own vehicles. As you also observed, the schools are not using their schools are not using their own transports, and each parents are dropping their children through their own vehicles. So number of vehicles on roads has been increased for last 2-3 years. And the waste generation rate has also been increased. And we somehow fail to manage waste and bring to behavioral change in our community. So this is because of the people living in Delhi and because of the administration who regulate or implement lots of schemes in Delhi. So beside this, Delhi has already submitted its action plan to reduce its pollution by 30%. But when this action plan will be executed on ground, we are still waiting. So this is very unfortunate.
That's right. In fact, let me also bring in Bhavreen into this conversation. Bhavreen, another fact that this particular report has revealed is that of the 15 most polluted cities in Central and Southern Asia in 2021, 12 cities were in India. So yes, while Delhi is in the lead, the problem of pollution is something which exists pan-India, and sadly, it is not being considered an issue which is serious enough to be prioritized. Right, Bhavreen, if my voice is going through?
It does. It did come through, but then I lost it. Sorry. So
Okay.
I'm not sure of how. Anyway, I'll just add to what Ashish just said. That right now, in fact, just about 20 minutes, half an hour back, I get these pictures of these amazing, beautiful, huge trees in Rajouri Garden that are being cut, and they have permissions from the Forest Department. And when, of course, the complaints have been sent to Forest Department to give a restraining order, they have refused. Until we are not going to change our mindset and come to the real intent of doing everything really, whether it is waste management bylaws of 2016 that have still not been implemented. Probably we are the only country or city like Delhi where we can't even segregate waste into dry and wet. or it's a vehicular where we need a good public transport system. We are still, talking about bringing in buses and, and in the name of metro, we are just doing, PR and campaigning while the metro is actually killing trees, so much more trees. See, right now, trees are the only natural oxygen towers in the city. And we are talking of everything in future, whether it is, cleaning or green energy or electric, all that is still not there. Something that exists, we should be worshipping it right now. That is the only savior for all our children and ourselves. As you and I speak, we are over 300 AQI, which is not good. We need to take every step very, very boldly and very, we need real boots on the ground to actually, see what is happening and take action right there and then. Here are these complaints that are being tweeted, tagged, sent, but it takes days for, action to be taken. Is that the way we take action if our child is breathing poison? If somebody tells you that your child has had poison, is that the action we'll take or the authorities will take? So, I mean, this is the problem. We need to have the right intent. I am not surprised. Many of us here are not surprised that the Delhi being again ranked the most polluted city, because all this is happening. Why can't we have, if you care for our children, a moratorium on tree felling totally in Delhi? Why can't we execute something, enforce something that's done all over the world? Why I segregate my waste when I'm in New York or I'm in Singapore? Why don't I do it in Delhi? Why am I not being fined, penalized? Why are the vehicular emissions being let go? I mean, you do all the onus is put on citizens. They're 10-year-old, brand new, those cars of brands, German brands, which have zero emissions, or I can't say zero, sorry, but very low emissions, are being sent to 10 kilometers across Gurgaon, or to NCR, and not being allowed here. Those are kind of ridiculous steps that we are taking. What we need to do, we are not doing. We need to work on the sources of pollution, not some smog towers and, trommel machines. That's not going to help any one of us.
But Bhavreen, point well taken, but also it is often seen that how public in general do not seem to be taking this issue of pollution seriously. In most of the places, specifically if we talk about metro cities, it seems that people have just accepted this existing state of affairs. Almost all have learned to live in these unhealthy surroundings. What, as per you, is the reason behind this apathy?
Public will do what the leaders will make them do. The politicians, the leaders, the authorities, they have to lead the way. They don't. Unfortunately, right now the authorities have become campaigners. They should leave the campaigning to ordinary citizens like us and do the real work. Because you cannot be campaigning for some cloth bag when a tree is being cut or the waste is being mixed in your constituencies. It's not, and every day the landfill is filling up with more waste, or it's being incinerated, or waste to energy plants are coming up in the middle of cities. These are things that they need to work on, not on, some, school campaigns of bringing in bags and all that. Even no to plastics for that matter. Again, please, one thing we have to remember, that don't put the onus on citizens. If you will not have the single-use plastics in the market, the manufacturers will be, curbed for selling those. That will not happen. Now see how we Delhiites have learned the Motor Vehicle Act has come into place. How we've learned to stop before a red light and or not cross the zebra crossing, because they have implemented. They've enforced the law. I'm scared to get a fine when I'm not speeding. I used to. I was crossing the stop line, but I am not. So this is the way we will have to implement it, because this is an emergency. It's a public health emergency. How much more can we damage our life? I'm fighting for clean air since 20 years. My own children are 18 now. That means I was not able to do anything for them. They still have black lungs. We all have to think like that. After all, politicians are also parents and grandparents. The authorities are also parents and grandparents. Why are we not thinking about it as seriously? So let's not put the onus on citizens. Whatever the government wants, the people will do it. If they really want them to do it, they will do it. It has to be implemented. Laws have to be implemented.
Right. In fact, Ashish Jain, coming back to you, while on Mirror Now, we always raise people's issue. We also try to suggest solutions also with the help of experts. Bhavreen just suggested few. Anything more that you want to add so that we can understand what can be done to salvage the situation?
Yeah, see, there are a lot of small and big solutions. So there are two kind of solutions which can adopt, or government can adopt, or a normal citizen adopt. One solution is short-term solutions. Immediately shift to some good practices like not to burn, not to litter waste, and we can means like our sweeping habits. We can change our sweeping habits. Not do any sweeping or dusting in the morning hours, and in long-term practice, the government have to identify bottlenecks, hotspots of maximum emissions, like the congested market. We have to restructure the old markets where traffic gets stuck and vehicles have to switch on their engine for an hour. So there should be some planning that no vehicle will be allowed. Like there are some markets, Karol Bagh, Purani Delhi, and there are many such hotspots. And we need to identify. We have to make Delhi red light free. There should be free vehicular movements across the country. The average vehicle speed in Delhi is around 23 kilometers per hour. So we have, which is very very low. So there are a lot of solutions exist, and I think government has considering all these long term and short term steps. But the point is when the government execute these solutions.
Right. Ashish Jain and Bhavreen Khandari, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us on this very, very important issue.